The Disney drops have begun and they're running a whole lot smoother than they were when we originally started. But with the 6 so far that have been released, there's one that stands out a little bit further from the crowd that most are sort of sleeping on. So let's talk about that. Welcome in everyone, my name is Andy and I appreciate you taking some time to come watch this video on the channel. Just before we get started, if you would like to sub, I'm aiming for 1,000 by the end of the year. So if you are enjoying the content and you want to hear more about crypto and NFT space, then I'd love for you to be a part of this journey with me. The Disney drops have definitely been so fun to be a part of. I've got all sets so far. I've been keeping gems for a long time and selling off some things that I'm not really keen on over the past few days to make sure that I can get these, and it's been insane that I've actually been able to afford and get some of these drops that have come in so far. All of them are pretty fairly priced, with some of them reaching upwards of 1.2k with the Disney hat and lows of around 280 with where the Wally's at on the 10th of the 11th. These prices are definitely going to rise, and I'm going to make a video on why I believe this is going to be the case and why you should pay a little bit more attention. But there's one collectible in particular that stands out a little bit further from the crowd and is not maybe getting the attention that it probably deserves right now. And that's Elsa. Now, the debate that's been happening recently is what is actually the first Disney NFT drop? Because we could say that Spider-Man is relating to Marvel, which is owned by Disney, so that would be the first one. And then you've got the likes of Homer Simpson, who again wasn't actually owned by Disney originally, but was purchased later on. And the same with some of the other drops that have been happening. Now, the people have been saying that Elsa may potentially be the first actual Disney drop, as the series itself is from Walt Disney Animation Studios. So if we do take it in that front, it is the first sort of Walt Disney Animation Studio NFT, but maybe not the first Disney NFT. This isn't all that's going to bring the significance to Elsa as a whole, but just a point to touch on. Yes, Elsa and Fantasia hat are the two sort of first Disney original characters that have been made through this. We can already see from the hat itself that it's going for 1,000 gems at the moment, with only 299 on the market, and that being the highest Disney moment so far. But I do believe it will be overtaken in the long run by Star Wars, Walt Disney, and potentially some of the others too. Elsa right now is only sitting at 311 gems, and I say only, I know that's quite a lot, but compared to what they will be worth in the future, this does seem quite light. What we have to think of here is how significant of a drop this truly is. Disney as a whole is an absolute beast in the world of animation, collectibles, toys, TV series, and so much more. Everything they do is brought with success, and this is no different. VEVE have already announced on Twitter that this has been the highest number of people going for drops, which was actually confirmed on the first day to be 100,000 people in the app going for it, but I believe that number is way higher because a lot of people had problems with the first drop. I would say we're looking at upwards of 150 to 200,000 people actually going for these drops, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. Disney's first NFT is like being able to collect the first ever Pokemon card, the first ever collectibles on VEVE itself. Todd McFarlane Batman is going to go down in history as the first ever collectible on VEVE, which will be a powerhouse in itself in the future. I truly see these Disney NFTs being something so significant to that as well. First ever Disney NFTs in the world. Even saying that alone is something special in itself. Now back to Elsa and why I believe it's a little bit more underrated than people think right now. Now if you have a look on the screen here, under Elsa's foot, there is actually a potential pen that has been added in here. And it does look like a pen to me, and this actually is in relation to Walt Disney's own pen. You can see the pen shown here in comparison to this pen that has been made, with it being the exact same shape of the pen itself. I don't think this is a modeling error. I think this was put in intentionally. I would love to hear your thoughts, but that is another amazing thing to see. Easter eggs being put in within the collectibles, and this is one of the few collectibles overall in VEVE that do have Easter eggs involved. If we go on logic itself, most of the time we try to look at what has the least collectibles, what has the most following behind it, and that will mean what is going to be the most money. We've actually seen from Frank Kozik's drop with the Labicon that common goes for more than all of the others apart from the ultra rare. That actually shot up to 700 gems at one point, whilst all the rest were sitting maybe between 100 and 300 at the time. This goes to show that it isn't always about the rarity of the collectible or how sought after it is in the beginning, but something that can move forward in the future and what people actually want to buy. Elsa being the first ever Disney Princess NFT that is licensed by Disney itself, as well as this Easter egg underneath, and it being all golden, and play significant factors in making this price skyrocket in the future. We've also got to think that if we have between 150 and 200,000 people going for this drop in particular, how many people are actually going to get it and how many people are willing to buy that for themselves to make sure they have it. If we also take a look at the highest grossing Disney films, Frozen 2 is actually higher up than Frozen 1 and done better than it. The sequel earning 1.45 billion at the box office and Frozen 1 with 1.2 billion, both are absolute monsters when it comes to the popularity of this show. And again, if we go into the YouTube videos of Frozen and the Let It Go song that everyone heard for so long, and if you're a parent at the time with a younger kid who was watching this constantly, I'm sure you'll be sick of this, but it has 2.6 billion views on YouTube with the sing-along version. Frozen was massive when it first came out. Everyone was watching it, everyone knew about it, everyone knew all the songs, and Elsa is at the forefront of all of it. All of these collectively together have shown me that Elsa is actually highly undervalued at the moment, and something that I don't see being the case for much longer. The Fantasia hat is already up to 1,000, and we've already seen Homer and Bart actually overtake the skateboard, which is the rare, to show that logic isn't going to play all the factors in this. We have to look at different circumstances to see what people are actually wanting to buy and why. Disney characters, and especially Disney princesses, is something that is a massive franchise within itself in Disney. I can also say that this is the first ever Disney princess NFT in the world. It has a lot of backing to it. To me personally, I see this being the sort of second round of the Todd McFarlane in Season 1 Batman collection on VEVE. Disney's first ever NFT drop with all of these collectively could significantly rise in the future, and we've already seen massive demand for these, with Elsa actually having 1,400 on the night that she was released, going down to 700 on the market the next morning when I woke up. This was only about 8 hours of a difference, and to show that demand for one single collectible, something you don't see that often, and you know it's something significant if it's the case. But what do you think about the Elsa collectible? Do you think it's something that will be able to stand the test of time compared to the other Disney collectibles? Or do you think it will be something that will stay at its price for the long run? Let me know down in the comments, as I'd love to hear your own thoughts. I know the video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.